Yeah. Other day we have seen expect AOP around advice. This advice executes only for one time with respect to business method or multiple times. Only for one time with respect to business method or two times. Before entering into application, it will execute. While exiting from the application also, it will execute, right? It will execute multiple times or not, boss? Today, we have to see the flow of execution, guys. Here is my AOP. Around advice, open it. Yeah, we developed the application, we got the output, but how it is executing, that matters. How it is executing, that really matters. Wait a minute. What's our workspace? Yeah, flow of execution I would like to give. For this application, what is the flow of execution I would like to give, boss? Yeah. Meanwhile, everyone please save this link, guys. Tomorrow you have 2 sessions to attend. One session morning at 9 a.m. on Log4j, SLF4j. 4j, SLF4j. Another session at, am I audible, guys? Another session at evening 5:45 as usual. Evening regular session will be there. Morning operates, another session will be there. Morning, another session will be there. Everyone, please note down this. Yeah. Yeah. First of all, tell me, around advice executes. Yes. Around advice executes with respect to business method 2 times, na boss? Executes before entering into business method while executing business method. So today we want to see the flow of execution, boss. Yeah. Tell me around advice flow of execution. Flow of execution. Flow of execution. Here is my November 19th, boss. Today is 18th. Fine, 18th. Flow of execution. Let's see. Around advice flow of execution. Expect AOP around advice flow of execution. Now let me give how the proxy class looks, guys. Bank service.java. Here is my bank service.java. Here is my performance monitoring expect.java. Performance monitoring expect.java. Next. application context.xml. This is my XML file. Here is my XML file. This is my application context.xml. This is my client application boss. Around advice test.java, which is also called client application. I'll give client application in a moment, boss. I would like to show the generated proxy class. Can I show the generated proxy class, my dear? Okay. Generated proxy class. Generated in-memory proxy class. Understanding? Generated in-memory proxy class. No, by default, this in-memory proxy class will be generated using what libraries? Using CZlib libraries, code generation libraries. Got it? Using CZlib libraries. Yeah. Now listen. Everyone, please concentrate. Public class. What is that? Bank service, CZlib 00 dollar proxy. $00 proxy extends bank service. Extends bank service. Listen, every proxy class extends from what? Target class. What is our target class? Bank service. Everyone focus, like anything. Implements one interface is there, application context aware. Implements one interface called application context aware interface. Application context aware. Tell me here what is there, guys? Public application context CTX. Array, this is there to inject application context object, boss. This is purely to inject application context object, my dear. Public application context, guys. Public void set application context CTX. This dot CTX is equal to CTX. It's a public only. It's a method of, this is the method of this interface, Raghav. This is the method of this interface. Got it? This is not settler method. Okay. This interface gives. Okay, what is this? Set application context method. This interface gives set application context methods. Got it, guys? Array, because of interface, this interface implementation, this method will execute. In that process, underlying application context object will be injected. This is called aware injection. Okay. This is called aware injection. Based on this interface implementation. Okay. Sir, method is public, variable is private. Rabab. Please run nine. Method is public, variable is private. That's quite regular one now, boss. Method is public. Any other variable, right? Based on this interface implementation. Based on this interface implementation. Based on this interface implementation, the IOC container injects the underlay application context object. So it is called aware injection or interface injection. Aware injection or interface injection. Are you understanding my statement, guys? By seeing interface, this method will be called automatically. Application context object is injected. That's why it is called as what? Aware injection or interface injection. Because it's interface, object is injected. Interface injection. Since it is a XXX aware interface, that's why it is called aware injection. That's why we call it as aware injection. Got it? Super. Tell me, this class is extending from what, guys? Bank service. In bank service class, we have two methods now. Calculate interest amount, calculate compound interest amount methods. Super. Public double, calculate simple interest amount. So calculate simple interest amount, double PAMT, double rate, double time, double PAMT, double rate, double time. Now have a look, guys. This is the method that is there. Overridden method was. This is overridden method. Okay, now listen. This method has to call this performance method. This method has to call this performance method. Getting my point? Super. Now listen carefully. To call that one, first of all, it has to get what, guys? First of all, it has to get what? This class object, performance monitoring expect class object, right, boss? Performance monitoring expect class object on that performance method should be called. Super, guys. Here, wait a minute. This is purely to understand flow of execution, I'm telling. Until I give numbers-based flow of execution, don't come to any conclusion. If you don't know also, you can still work with AOP. Since someone asked me flow of execution, I am giving the flow of execution. Entire flow of execution is related to proxy class. Don't forget that. Entire flow of execution is related to proxy class. Super, guys. Tell me. Get expect class object. When you have a container with you, we can get access to any object now, boss. We can get access to any object. What do you say, boss? Get expect class object, boss. Super. Tell me here. Performance monitoring expect. Expect is equal to ctx dot get bin. What is this? PM expect. Performance monitoring expect dot class. Performance monitoring expect class. Okay, cool, guys. Next, prepare the preceding join point object. Preceding join point object. join point class object, guys. Create the preceding join point class object was. Now listen carefully. Yeah. Why, sir? Why are you preparing this? Proceeding join point object is required in order to call performance method, na boss. In order to call performance method, this object is required, and this object should hold target class information and method signature. Every information it should hold, na boss. Okay. Proceeding join point PZP is equal to new method invocation. And it's an interface. It's an interface, boss. Method invocation proceeding join point. Join point of method invocation proceeding join point of. Super. PZP dot set target. PZP dot set target. PZP dot set target of new bank service of target class object is set was. PZP dot CVT dot set method. PZP dot set method. Tell me. PZP dot set method. New method of. What is this? PZP dot set method. New method of. What is the method, guys? Calc simple interest amount. Calc simple interest method. Understanding my statement? PZP dot set method args. PZP dot set method args. PAMT rate time. Are in the overridden method, these are there na? These are there na? PZP is holding target class object. Target class object. PZP is holding target method object. Super. Method info. Method info. Next, it is having target method args. Target method args also there or not there? Target method args also there or not there? Super, guys. Tell me now. Okay, it is looking for expect object ready. It is looking for what? Preceding join point object, that is also ready. Tell me. Invoke the advice method. Simply invoke the advice method. Simply invoke the advice method. Invoke the 1 minute, first one. What is that? Get the advice method from advice expect class using reflection API. Using reflection API. Tell me, guys, use what, boss? Performance method. Use performance method. Okay, don't worry about that reflection API code. A lengthy reflection API code will be there internally. Invoke the advice method on expect class object. What object, guys? Expect class object. Tell me. Object, not object. Object return value is equal to, these internal lines will not be asked by interviewer. But if you want to enjoy the flow of execution, you should feel this proxy class code. Come on, everything we don't learn for interview, Babu. Please come out of that. Without knowing proxy class, we cannot feel the flow of execution. Object rect value is equal to expect dot performance PZP. Accept dot performance PZP. Return ret value. Return ret value. End of the method, guys. Similarly, calc compound interest method also will be overridden. But I say dot dot only because same thing will happen in compound interest method also. Calculate compound interest. Calculate compound interest, same story will take place there. Nice. Same story will take place there. PJP dot proceed won't be there here. That will be there in advice method. Okay, sir, please run, Aina. Don't show your off knowledge. That will be there in advice now, boss. Come on. Right. Because I'm trying to call advice method. Advice method calls proceed method. From there, it goes to target class. End of this class. Now, let's have a look on client application, guys. Let's have a look on client application. Here is the client application. Around advice test, guys. Today, no other agenda. Purely understanding flow of execution. How logics are mixed up. That is the main point. How logics are mixed up. That is the main point that we should see. That is the main point we should see, guys. Nothing else. Right. Yeah. Shall we see the flow part, guys? Shall we see the flow part? This in-memory proxy class also comes dynamically. I'll give that also as part of flow. We run the application. Yeah. Run the application. ABCDs are better, numbers are better. Numbers are better. We choose some color. Main method 2. 3. IOC container creation. IOC container creation. Next. Okay. Loading comma. Verification of. Loading comma. Parsing of XML file. Loading comma parsing of XML file. Cool, guys. Loading comma parsing of XML file, boss. Clear, my dear? Loading comma parsing of XML file. That is 4. That is 4. That is 4. Goes to XML file, guys. Goes to XML file. First notices there is a AOP colon expects a auto proxy. Okay. Are you understanding my statement, boss? Right, boss. Tell me next one. AOP colon expects a auto proxy. What is the number, guys? 5. This tag is absurd. Absurd, right? This tag is absurd. Then component scanning is happening now, boss. Component scanning is happening. 6. enables the component scanning. Enables the component scanning. Super. That is 6, my dear. Okay. And goes to all the sub packages or not? It happily goes to all the sub packages. Where is our workspace, guys? Here is the workspace. Yeah, com.nt I mentioned. So here no annotation based Spring Bean. But here we are in two places we have bank service and this one is there na. Bank service and this one is there na, boss. Super. Com.nt package. Okay. Goes to these two packages, right? This is 7. 7. This is 7. Notices the stereotype annotations are placed in these two classes. The notices the stereotype annotations are placed. Okay, at the rate component. What, guys? At the rate component are placed in these two classes. Yes, na, boss? In these two classes. Tell me next one. This is also 7. Where is target class? This is also 7. This is also 7. Okay. Right, boss. Next one. Pre-instantiation of singleton scope beans. What is there? Pre-instantiation of singleton scope beans. Singleton scope Spring Beans. Singleton scope beans. In that process, tell me, it creates performance monitoring expect class object normally. Performance monitoring class object normally. But okay. But it notices bank service class name in the OGNL expression of, come on, OGNL expression of at the rate around advice, at the rate around annotation of expect class. Of expect class. This is very important, boss. At the rate around annotation of expect class, boss. Noticed or not noticed? Check it out. Noticed or not noticed? Bank service is there or not there? Bank service is there or not there, boss? Noticed or not? Come on. Okay. So it stops creating bank service class object and enables, tell me, in-memory proxy class generation. In-memory proxy class generation. Come on, guys. In-memory proxy class generation. Super. So as of now, what is there, guys? Only performance monitoring object is there. Object is created. Performance monitoring object is created. Only performance monitoring object is created. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. In-memory proxy class generation takes place. Okay, in-memory proxy class generation. Don't you think it is in-memory proxy class generation, guys? 9. In-memory proxy class is generated or not? Come on. Super. Okay. Listen, this is the beauty. Because of this around advice, of expect class, pre-instantiation is stopped. Pre-instantiation is stopped. You want to feel that? No pre-instantiation is happening for this class. You go to bank service boss. Here you write a constructor boss. You write a constructor boss. Sys zero param constructor. This is quite a depth, but if you keep your brain and body open, definitely you can enjoy the flow. I'm giving numbers also for you. Okay, now listen. I will enable performance monitoring here. I'll go to performance monitoring. Here is the sys zero param constructor. Zero param constructor. Got it, guys? Around advice. Okay, you cannot feel like that. 1 minute. I comment this entire thing, Babu. I comment this entire thing. Now you observe around advice test. No, it looks like bank service class constructor executed. No. When proxy class object is created, super class constructor also executes because of that. When proxy class object is created, super class constructor executes or not? Come on, it is not because of pre-instantiation. It's purely not pre-instantiation, this one. And moreover, when I say get bean of bank service, what is coming? Proxy class object is coming, this one. Listen, you may think that my statement is going wrong. It's not actually going wrong. First, expect class object is created. Then what is this, sir? This is after generating proxy class, it creates proxy class object and keeps that object in the internal cache of IOC container. When subclass object is created, superclass constructor executes or not? That one. Are you getting my point, boss? Okay. Don't be surprised. So performance monitoring object, boss. This is in-memory proxy class generation, boss. This is in memory. This entire code is generated. Number 10. In-memory proxy class object creation, boss. In-memory proxy class object creation. Okay, what is that? Bank service CZlib FF dollar proxy object. Okay. In-memory proxy class object. Object creation. In-memory proxy class object creation. That is 10, boss. That is 10. Come on, guys. Are you with me? In-memory proxy class object creation, boss. Next one, aware injection, boss. Number 11, aware injection. Aware injection. What is aware injection? Injects. Tell me. Injects application context object to proxy class object. Proxy class object. Yes. Tell me, guys, here is what? Proxy class object creation. Okay, already given up. Fine. That is number 11, boss. This is number 11. So in this process, what happened, guys? Application context object will be injected here or not? Here is my CTX, nothing but application context object. Nothing but application context object. Cool, guys. Got the clarity, boss? This is 11, Babu. Okay. What is the bean ID for this, guys? Bean ID for this PM aspect. What is the bean ID for this? Bank service. Listen. The bean ID for this target class, though object is created for proxy class, but it will be there in what? It will be taking what, guys? Target class bean ID. Target class bean ID. This is target class bean ID, na boss? Yes. Target class bean ID. Tell me, that is number 11. 12. Keeps both expect class object comma proxy class object in the internal cache of IOC container. In the internal cache of IOC container. In the internal cache of IOC container. Super. Tell me here, what is this? Bank service bean ID. Here, what is there? Proxy class object reference. Next, PM aspect. Tell me. Performance aspect class object reference. Performance accept class object reference. This is what, guys? Internal cache. Internal cache. Super. Yeah, that is 12. After that, what happens? Control comes to next line of the client. All these things are happening whenever container is created, up to 12 steps. Shall we see up to 12 steps one more time? Everyone, please focus. Number 1, run the application. Is that clear, guys? Number 2, main method. Number 3, IOC container creation. Number 4. Number 2. Number 3, IOC container creation. Number 4, loading and parsing of XML file. Number 5, it checks expects a auto proxy is enabled. That means proxy class generation is enabled. Please remember, proxy class generation is enabled. Number 6, component scanning, boss. It goes to these packages and notices these two classes are having notices these two classes are having stereotype annotations. Okay. Stereotype annotation. Number 8. It creates the object for expect class, guys. But it also try to create object for bank service class, which is nothing but target. But somehow it notices that bank service class name is there in what? Around advice method. Around advice method. So what it will do? It will stop creating object for bank service class. Rather, it generates in-memory proxy class. In-memory proxy class generation. In-memory proxy class generation. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Super. It is internally in-memory proxy class generation. Then proxy class object is created, boss. Proxy class object is created, that is 10. 11. Application context object is injected. Nothing but aware injection, Rababu. 11. Okay. Now tell me. Keeps both expect class object, proxy class object in the internal cache of IOC container. Expect class, accept class bean ID, but proxy class is dynamically generated class object na boss. That's why target class bean ID is used. Target class bean ID is used. Come on, guys. Are you convinced with me or not? Okay. Suppose, let me prove that. Suppose this tag is not there. This tag I commented. This tag I commented. Around advice. Okay. Around advice. Look at the execution. Around advice test. Tell me, only simple interest amount has come. Oh, both places simple I write, na? Compound. Let me write compound. Any performance monitoring is coming, boss? Any performance monitoring is coming, boss? Only simple interest amount. Any performance monitoring is happening? No. Why? Because no proxy class is generated. How can you say? When I try to get class bank service having super class object. So now let me enable this, guys. Let me enable this, guys. Super. Come here. Around advice test. Same code. Tell me. What is the super class current class name? Proxy class. What is the super class name? This one. Come on. Next. Not only interest amount is coming. You observe very carefully. Performance is also enabled. Performance is also enabled. 12 milliseconds. 0 milliseconds. Performance monitoring is enabled or not enabled? Come on. I want reply from you people. Can you respond, guys? So that means this tag is doing proxy class generation or not? This tag based on the original expression, based on the original expression, this tag is generating what? In-memory proxy class. When in-memory proxy class is generated, expect logics are applied. When not generated, not applied. Okay. Feel. Mr. Deepali Power, can you use your common sense? Now I commented. Proxy class generation got stopped. Run the application, guys. I don't know, yaar, what you studied in engineering. Really hats off. Okay. After no annotation, Babu. This tag is capable of doing that. Now tell me, right now, proxy class generated. When I say get bean, what is coming? Bank service super class is object. And any performance monitoring is applied, boss. Deepali madam, are you able to see that? Last time also I shown the same thing, na? Any performance monitoring is applied. Any proxy class generated here? It's a normal Spring application. Normal Spring application. Okay, now I enabled this. I said now we can enable or disable secondary logics on primary logic without disturbing the source code. That feature are you able to feel, guys? Right. Around advice test. Have a look now. Have a look now. Proxy class came. What is the super class of proxy class, guys? Target class. Target class. Tell me here. Simple interest executed. Entering into method, exited from the method, performance is coming. Entering into method, exited from the method, performance is coming. So that means secondary logics are executed or not. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. So that means that expects a colon auto proxy is the tag. Based on that tag, our application is ready for generating proxy class. Tell me, boss. Where is the number? 12, 13. 13. Super. Here is my 14 question mark. Here is my 14 question mark, boss. 13. Here is my 14 question mark, boss. Clear, guys? Got the clarity, boss? Come on, are you with me? Yeah, here is my 14 question mark, guys. Yeah, it's available. Bank service is available. Available. You will get proxy class object 15. 15. Now we are calling the business method here. Simple interest amount 16. Okay, now tell me, guys, this method is called on proxy object. It looks for this method in proxy class or target class. It looks for this method in proxy class or target class. Until you reply, don't give next number, boss. Sorry. It's becoming one-way traffic. Now, this method is called on proxy class object. So it looks for this method in proxy class or target class. In my question only answer is there if you observe very carefully. When it is called on proxy class object, it definitely looks for method in proxy class only, na boss. It definitely looks for that method in proxy class, right? Here is the proxy class. What is next, guys? 10. What's the number? Can you help me the number? 17. 17. And it will arrange all these things, Babu. It will arrange all these objects and calls expect dot performance method. 18. On expect class object, performance method is called Babu. It goes to expect class performance method. It will go to expect class performance method, na boss. Super. Yes, here is the performance. 19, boss. 19. Yeah, don't you think these are pre-logics, guys? These are pre-logic, these are posts. First pre-logics will execute, my dear, 20. Yeah, tell me, this PJP is having what details, guys? PJP is having what details? Target class object is their bank service. Target method, calculate simple interest amount method details are there. Target method argument details also there. So when I say PJP.proceed, it will happily go to target class now, boss. T1. Okay, it will happily call, this will internally call target class, this method now, boss. Come on, are you excited or not? 22. Here, business logic execute result comes, 23. Those results will go back to whom, guys? Those results will come back here, 25. 25 or 24? 24. Then post logics will execute or not? Then post logics will execute, 25. Then return value is written, 26. Then the return value is written 26. Got it? Super means super. Return value is written 26. 26. After that, what next? Yeah, here is my 26, guys. Now, after that, what is the next story, boss? Okay, all these are happened from the proxy class. Don't forget that. Tell me. All these logics will execute, Babu. Don't think that all these logics are not executed. 17, guys. Here is my 17, guys. Here is my 20. How much? 6. Here is my 27. Return value came 27. Return value came. Here is my 27. Super. Next. 27. This is my 28. This is my 28. Super. This is my 29. 29. Come on, guys. Comfortable? All the steps you are convinced of, boss? I hope all the steps you are convinced or not. I want to reply. Okay, on public demand, one more time, I'm giving the flow of execution. Everyone be alert and listen. Everyone, please be alert and listen. Number 1, run the application. Number 1, run the application. Number 2, main method. Number 2, main method. Number 3, IOC container creation. Number 4, loading and parsing of XML file. Number 5, it goes to this XML file, notices AOP : auto proxy enabled. This tag is observed. Auto proxy class generation. Generation is enabled. Right. And performs component scanning. It comes to the package and notices 2 classes are there having stereotype annotation. That is number 7. Number 8. Number 8. Tell me. Pre-instantiation of singleton scope Spring Beans starts. In that process, it creates performance monitoring expect class object normally, but it notices bank service class name is there in Ozian expression of around advice in expect class. So it stop bank service class object creation. It stops the creation of bank service class object and enables in-memory proxy class. Enables in-memory proxy class based on the bank service class. Based on the bank service class. Super. Based on the bank service class. Here in-memory proxy class generation is happened, Babu. Later in-memory proxy class object is created, Babu. To that object application context object is injected. To that object application context class object is injected. Come on, guys. Super. Then aware injection takes place. What, guys? Aware injection takes place. Injects application object to proxy class object. It simply injects application object to application context object to proxy class object. Number 12, keeps both objects in the internal cache. But please observe, proxy class object bean ID is target class bean ID. Proxy class object bean ID is target class object. Proxy class object bean ID is what is that? Target class bean ID. And in this whole process, target class object is not directly created. Bean ID. Clear, guys? Super. After that, what next? Calls getBean method. GetBean method. From there, you will get proxy class object. Calls what? Simple interest method on proxy class, guys. Calls simple interest method on proxy class object. It goes to proxy class overridden method. All the necessary objects are created to call advice method. Advice method is called on expect class. Control goes to advice class expect method. 19. Pre-logics are executed. Because of pgp.proceed, target class method will execute. Target class logic executed. Result came. Post logics are executed. Post logic related return value. Yeah, return value came back. That comes to proxy class. Proxy class returns the return value. This proxy class method is called by whom? Client. Control goes to client. Control goes to client. Here result comes. Okay, at least for a few people bulb blown. At least some people appreciate my hard work of giving flow of execution. Anyone? See, it's not compulsory you should know flow of execution. Okay. How to prove target class is not creating this one? Very simple, Rababu. You want to feel in pre-instantiation target class object is not created, proxy class object is created. Very simple, Rababu. Everything is there in our hand. You try to print the class name. Now, if you have a small confusion, that also will go off. Check it out. Check it out. Okay. Achha, at that place, it is giving this. No. But see here, what is coming? Proxy class is coming or not? Super. Proxy class is coming or not? How to prove that? How to prove that? This dot get class. This dot get class. Yes. Acha. Now I want to prove that this constructor is created as part of subclass object creation. This constructor is executed as part of subclass object creation. How to feel that? How can we make that one happening? Okay. It's still showing bank service only. Now I want to make sure that it is coming because of what that. Now look at this, guys. This is proxy class. At least you agree with me. Let it be. This is proxy class now. But what is the bean ID I pass? Bank service. What is the bean ID I pass? Bank service. But what actually I supposed to get? Bank service class object. But what I am getting? When I say proxy.get class, what I am getting? A big dynamically generated class name now. And for that one, what is the subclass? Get class dot get super class. What is the superclass for that proxy class? Our target class. When subclass object is created, superclass constructor will be executed or not. And this is executed like this. This is executed like this. This is executed like this. Is that clear? At least now you confirm that, please. It is not as part of instantiation. Pre-instantiation is happening on proxy class, not on the target class. Pre-instantiation is happening on dynamically generated proxy class, not on the target class. Super. So when we meet in next class, guys, tomorrow you have 2 sessions to attend. Session 1, Log4j workshop at 9 o'clock. This is the meeting ID. Everyone, please collect the meeting ID. And evening 5:45 regular session. Evening 5:45